Boom, and we are live with another episode of the Brown Water Banter Podcast. My name is Jared Seymour.
My name is Joey Cates.
It is Joey Cates, and we got a good show for you in the studio. We have the gentlemen from the Southern Kingfish Association. We have Rob and Cody in the studio. They're going to be talking to us about, I'm assuming Kingfish Association.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good conversation, man. But before we jump into it, like we always do, we got to thank the people that keep the show rolling over here in the Brown Water studio. Right out of the gate is Dr. Robbie Williams over at Southern Magnolia Smiles, man. If you're looking for a great local dentist, you can look them up on the socials at Southern Magnolia Smiles on Facebook and Instagram. 2026 is we don't have a cool catch slogan, and we're already into April.
Brush your teeth.
Just brush your damn teeth and call them up and keep them looking good. I mean, what else do you want me to tell you? When you're ready to book that consultation, you can give them a call at 228-215-1202 and tell them that Brown Water sent you. You got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
If you yourself or someone you know is in need of legal representation, Taylor and Cox Law Firm is the one for you. They have been practicing law on the Mississippi Gulf Coast for over 30 years. Our buddy Tyler is at the helm now. They're in Jackson County, George County, and Greene County. So they specialize in felonies, misdemeanors, DUI, BUI, family law, divorce, child custody, you name it. You want somebody that's going to fight in the courtroom for you? Just give them a shout at 228-696-0111. And again, tell them Brown Water sent you. Forever Young Men and Women's Health. If you're looking to prioritize your health, our buddy Kendrick right here in the photo, he can get you back on track. Their motto is bringing medicine, health, and exercise together to help men and women live their best lives. And he is very, very passionate about it and very well knowledgeable about it. So book a consultation with him. You'll go in, he'll draw some blood work. He'll go over it with you, figure out if you're vitamin deficient, hormone deficient. They specialize in testosterone replacement for men and women. So bring your lady friend in there and get, just get to feeling better. Prioritize your health because it's important. Give them a shout, 228-363-6623. And again, tell them Brown Water sent you. And bringing up the rear here, man, it's our newest sponsor. We're super pumped to have him on board. It's our buddy Brandon Webb over at Cedar Lake Power Equipment Sales and Service. He has went on a media blitz campaign. I'm seeing billboards. I'm seeing stuff on Facebook. This guy, he comes from a financial background in the banking world, but, dude, he is like perfect in front of the camera, making shorts and reels from the store. I texted him, told him I was like super impressed. He's doing a great job. We couldn't be happier for him. Yeah, it's that time of the year when you're going to be cutting your grass. Maybe you need to buy a lawnmower. Maybe you need to fix your stuff, fix a weed eater, whatever. I know he's selling Skag equipment, Steel, if I'm saying that right. All the top brands. Anything to help your lawn look better. You just give them a call at 228-206-0960. And again, tell them Brown Water sent you. And just support local, man. I'm super pumped. Glad to see him doing well. So let me flash this up here. And Joey's still doing his thing for sure. So, gentlemen, first of all, thank you all for stopping by. We appreciate it as always. I'm very green right here, so the questions will be real today on the show for sure. So we always like to start things out with, if you could, just whichever one of you would like to go first, just introduce yourself and give us like kind of the backstory, how you're associated with SK.
I'm Rob LaPola. I've been fishing the Southern Kingfish Association now since pretty close to 20-something years now, 25 years. And
okay.
The Southern Kingfish Association has been around since the 90s, and they've got a tournament series in the entire southeast coast, southeast United States, from Texas all the way up to North Carolina, to Florida.
Okay.
And it's a series of king mackerel tournaments that they do every year, and they end it with a national championship. And
multi-day tournament thing.
Yeah,
it's like a series, or how do you say
it's a series, and it's broken up into divisions, stuff like that. So, and I've been doing that, like I said, for the last 20 years.
Are the divisions regional, or how does that work?
Yeah, they're broken up into regions. Like the Gulf has a region. They have a South Florida region. They have a North Carolina, South Carolina.
Okay, that's how far up
like
it goes, North Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, sir?
Yep, so this is my third year into fishing the SK. I started with a friend, actually, and really got hooked last year.
Mm-hmm.
I actually ended up winning the division for the small boat, fishing nationals, traveling to the east coast of Florida fishing, and that's kind of last year's where I fell in love to it.
You got the bug.
Yeah,
it bit
got
you.
the bug.
Yeah,
man. So,
yeah.
The king mackerel fishing is a little different, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, for sure, because I had tons of questions there.
Kind of built a love for it. You know, a lot of things that the king mackerel tournaments and SK and everything, it's a little bit different. Just everything about the camaraderie and the family, the culture, everything. It's a little different. And that's kind of what drew me in.
Okay.
Very much.
And I think you said it, but how long is it? It's been around for a while?
It's been around since, I believe, the late 90s.
Okay. So this is not new.
No.
Not new.
No.
Okay. And it's been on the Gulf Coast here, Biloxi area. I think, Joe, were you telling me?
For a while.
It's wild, but
Yeah.
it's bigger than it's not. It is, it ain't.
Yeah. So what I got is, I think it's Bobby Carter and the guy you mentioned
He's in the
earlier.
comments
Who was
already,
that?
by the way, too.
Yeah,
so.
who was the guy that you mentioned
Appreciate you,
earlier
sir.
that brought it over there?
Jack Holmes.
Jack Holmes. So they brought it over
Okay.
here, and that was before the Billfish Classic. That was before any of that stuff. And I remember big SKA tournaments, when you used to line up and watch them, they would launch shotgun start just like the Billfish Classic and all that stuff. It was a huge tournament back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we appreciate the comment, Wendy, and Robbie Carter's in the comments as well. So thank y'all, gentlemen, for tuning in, man. It means a lot. So, but go ahead, Joey.
Well, let's talk about the SKA. When it got here, it was huge. Big money, big fish, and then it kind of let's talk about that, the early days.
Well, yeah, and like you said, it was a big thing. The big, like you said, the shotgun start, the big race at the beginning, and we'd have several hundred boats in these tournaments, and everybody looked forward to it, especially in Biloxi and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
which was where the championship was, usually at the end of the season in November.
Oh, nice. So we got to host that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was a big tournament.
Correct me if it was every other year they hosted in Biloxi, correct?
Well, for a while it was here every year. Yeah.
And then every
It's
other.
because the fishery was so good here that time of year, and everybody wanted to come here,
yeah,
and so it was big.
yeah. Explain the rules. So it's what is it? 2 fish, 3 fish, stringer, how many days, and all that stuff.
It's a 2-day tournament.
Okay.
And it was 1 fish each day, and it was a aggregate of the 2 fish.
Okay. So
that
biggest
would
fish
win the
up there.
tournament. Yeah.
And like we were talking earlier, like the fishery here for kings was so good back in the day. Like you couldn't even go to a rig and catch snapper. You couldn't do anything because everything was ate up with kings. Why do you think that was like that then, and what has been the decline now?
I wish
$1 million question.
Yeah.
I wish I knew that answer.
Yeah.
There's several factors. I mean, but back then, like you said, you could go anywhere.
Yeah,
And
it's not even. I know we're talking about this, but like it's every fish. I mean, every species that we talk about. So you got to think of things like what, like overfishing,
Right.
right?
Better gear.
Yeah,
You can sit in your couch and look at reefs and stuff like now. You got Freeman's with 400s on it that can go to the end
access.
of the
People
earth.
can just get there. Yeah. So I'm sure all of those are playing some kind of way, and then the things that maybe we don't know about, bait migrations and stuff like that.
climate. I mean,
Temperatures.
the climate, the water is a lot warmer than it ever was.
I know.
Back then too. Conditions from everything they talk about in Louisiana. Rain runoff and stuff like that.
That's
and,
right.
And the salinity of the water and stuff like that. But it's just changed a lot. Some people even talk about, going back to the oil spill and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. We definitely had some things around here in the Gulf, Mississippi and Alabama, Florida, the whole thing.
Yeah.
That.
What was the draw? Because usually you think of a kingfish, most people think of a kingfish as a pain in the butt, going to strip my line out or cut it off. If I'm throwing a jig, it's going to cut it off. What was the draw of getting that kingfish to be a money fish?
The excitement of that initial when a kingfish hits,
Right.
I'm sure you're familiar with it's that scream of
Scud
that drag.
missile.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a missile. It's either that or they come out of the water a lot and attack their baits, and that fish jumping 20 foot out of the water.
It's adrenaline rush.
It's an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
It is, and the excitement of trying to catch that, chase it down and catch that fish is it's just
It's intoxicating.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, for sure.
It can be very boring.
Yeah.
Trying to wait for that time because you're trolling. It's primarily trolling with the king mackerel fishing.
Slow.
Slow trolling.
Yeah.
So let's go into that. We're
Yeah.
pulling live baits on outriggers. How are we targeting these fish?
Yeah, so I mean,
Give us all your good secrets, too, by the way.
Tell us, because we're recording this.
No, we're not. No, we're not. Tell us everything.
primarily, you're dragging live baits, and it varies a little bit region to region and what bait is available. I mean, it's mainly a lot of hardtails, bluefish, and some people even get into smaller. You're getting into LYs, little pogies, live pogies. And you even get some people that are trolling dead bait. You can troll them a little faster, cover a little more ground, but most of your big kings are coming from live bait, big live baits, big hardtails, bluefish. Bluefish on the East Coast are really big things. Down here, hardtails are really big. They're very hardy bait.
Yeah. You can
Pretty
pull 'em a
easy
long
to
way.
catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can pull a hardtail half a day and he's still alive.
We're still kicking. And what you said, low and slow, right? How fast we usually pulling these?
Man, I'm typically 1.5 to 2.5 miles an hour.
Yeah, super slow. Well, you need to with the gas prices.
I was gonna say, man, that's
you don't want to be rolling too fast.
Yeah, I was thinking about. I mean, like when you're sitting out there sometimes on those rigs, or you're sitting, and especially if it's a little sporty out there, you just kind of that rocking back and forth all day long. At least trolling kind of eliminates a little bit of that. You don't have to be as quiet. But
burning them
Benjamins,
baby.
But there you just can't. You're just burning through that gas.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was big here. Really big here, and then it kind of slipped off. Was there a reason why the SKA kind of lost?
Well, I think it mainly lost it because of the fact that when Jack retired and he sold the SKA, he closed the SKA.
Okay.
And it got bought, but when it got sold, a lot of people just assumed that the SKA was dead because it was actually I think it was several months before it got bought and revived. And when it got revived, it wasn't revived in the same manner that it was back when Jack and his wife owned it. And so a lot of people got away from that, and it died out for quite a bit. And it wasn't until they started coming back and doing tournaments again, people didn't even know that it was still around.
Yeah, because like I said, we used to go to the weigh-ins here, and they were huge. And then it kind of just hit that lull, and then it's slowly creeping back up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Outside like Billfish, though, we've seen a ton of tournaments like that kind of come and go. You know what I mean? Like hit a peak and then just kind of die out.
Yeah.
And I guess you kind of make a good point. It almost probably goes back to who's running it, right? Because I know the little bitty tournament we do, 2 of them that we do, it takes a lot of work. Like you got to be dedicated to it. You got to put. It doesn't just happen, right? So if the guy who was running it, you said his name, but if he was the driving force and he sold it and that person didn't know that, and you got people thinking that it ended anyway, that's like a double recipe for a disaster.
Yeah. Right. And what happened was the company that took it over, they did fine, but they didn't know, exactly how the tournament series should have been ran.
Okay.
And they ended up getting rid of the selling it to the owners who have it now.
Okay, so they handed it off themselves.
Yeah,
they did too as well. Yeah,
they were like, we can't do nothing with this. Yeah,
and the guys that have it now he's doing a fantastic job. Price is doing an amazing job with this, but he's also trying to rebuild an entire region. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a slow process, and he's with the help of people like us and the guys that have been doing this for since the beginning.
Right.
We're trying to bring the sport back.
Heck yeah. Now, when you say region, do you just mean like Mississippi, or is it?
The Gulf region.
Okay.
So we're in Division 7. That's basically the Texas coast all the way to Big Bend, Florida.
Okay.
For Division 7, I think there's 10 divisions total.
Really?
For
so
the SK.
that's mostly East Coast, right?
Primarily East Coast, and then you have I think 3 divisions across Florida, and then you've got a couple up along like Georgia, and then you've got South Carolina, and then you've got a Carolina border, and then you've got further north.
Okay.
But it's 10 divisions total.
Okay. Would you say those kind of stayed popular more so than down here did? Like they kind of handled it better?
So, yeah, I would say primarily because their fishery has gotten stronger over the years.
Okay.
They've had more of a presence. And then I think it's just kind of, there wasn't a good transition period when they've sold it here, and they didn't give all the contacts, and it's a lot of work, like you said. If you're losing all of that, you're starting back from ground zero.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where we are, and I just want to see it, continue to grow and continue to get back to where it was.
Heck yeah. How does it work for somebody? It says, it's in the name. It's an association. Do you join this association? Do you pay dues? Can anybody fish it? How does that work?
Yeah, so you can join. You can go to their website. You can fill out a membership. I think you have different memberships. So you have just a plain membership. I think it's $100 a year. Then you have like senior, it's reduced. Your juniors are free. And I don't know if they offer a veteran discount or not. but they have several different categories. You've got an open and a small boat, several different options. You typically, everybody that's on the boat needs a membership to count for points, but they have several things, and it all basically takes you, and they use it for funding for nationals and other things as well. So you'll have a big national tournament that's typically invite only for the people that win in their division. So it's the best of the best at the end of the season, and that's what we used to host in Biloxi. That was really big.
Yeah. So you're pulling from the whole thing. And
Yeah.
what is it? Top 5, top 10? What was it usually that moved on to the national?
Back then, it was a top 15 or top 10, and
So you're talking well over 100 boats.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's in each division.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, top 10. I was going to, he said 10. You said 100. Like you're saying each division had
Correct.
top 10.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that makes more sense to
So
me.
you're coming into nationals, and there's several hundred boats in Biloxi, as you remember.
Wow.
Know,
Did you remember like what year was the last year that it was hosted in Biloxi then? Like at that time, you know what I mean? Like in the heyday, for lack of a better term?
Oh gosh,
Is it been,
it's
early
been,
2000s?
It's been a minute. Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
15 maybe.
Yeah,
2015.
They started rotating it from Biloxi. They started moving it to different locations to try to accommodate the different regions.
Right.
Because as the economy as well, a lot of people didn't want to travel as far, and
Right.
the North Carolina guys didn't want to come to Biloxi, and every year they wanted a chance to have it up there.
Yeah,
so,
meet me in the middle somewhere.
Right. So they started rotating the tournament several years ago. So it was here every 3 years, I believe it was.
Yeah.
But for a while it was here every year.
I remember
Nice.
that.
Yeah.
And what was it, you bring up the categories because there's different things in there, right? Because you are a veteran, correct?
Yeah. I'm a
Bet.
veteran.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So there's different categories that used to be in there that aren't in there anymore, but there are some. And if I remember correctly, it was the contender stink that kind of started that. Can you dive into that for us?
Yeah, they had the small boat class, and which was the 23-foot and under class, and then they had the open class,
Right.
which was anything over 23 foot. Contender and some of the other manufacturers made boats. It was at the water line, so technically, if the water line was less than 23 foot 11, and a 25-foot boat would qualify for that category. And manufacturers caught on to that, and they started stretching longer boats, up to 27 foot.
The 23T.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
remember-
they called it a 23
Yeah.
tournament, and if it met that qualification, then it was good.
Yeah, I remember
Wow.
everybody was looking for contenders because everybody was fishing the SKA.
Yeah.
And it was a 23 boat at the water line, but it was actually a 25-foot boat.
Yeah.
And that's how they got away with it.
Dang. That's pretty cool whenever your tournament is like got manufacturers changing or trying to augment the way they do things.
Several of them
right?
did, yeah.
We can only hope, Joey, one day that like catfish bait manufacturers will try
I don't
to.
think anything's going to be a
You know what I mean?
14-foot scale for
I'd be
a
so-
hardhead
I'd
tournament.
be so proud. You
Yeah,
know what
I don't
mean?
think that's
really
gonna
would.
happen.
Yeah, you got to have dreams and goals anyway. So, where are we at nowadays? So, like you said, it was Biloxi was heavy. It was hitting big. I think we said round about 2015 is kind of when it started, not being here every year and stuff
Right.
like that. So is this year the year that the association as a whole is making that push again?
They've been making a push for the last couple years.
Okay.
And
Yeah, in 2024 they hosted again back in Biloxi, and then last year was off the East Coast at Cape Canaveral, Florida, and then hopefully in the future we'll see it come back again as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be killer, especially down here. I know that's got to be a big boost for any local economies when something like that comes rolling through.
Yeah, the Kingfish, like you said, used to be able to go out there and you can't have a all-star or a main tournament where there's no fish.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So if the East Coast is holding way
Right.
more fish than we're doing, why would they do it in Biloxi?
That's
Does
right.
that make sense?
right.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times too is depending on time of year. There's each division of the region. Certain times of year, their fishing is the best.
Right.
Like in the Carolinas, it's late in season. It's late in October, November. That's when their best kingfishing is. So to have a national championship around that time, here,
Wouldn't make much sense.
yeah.
Yeah, you need to have it up there where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's here. It's good here too, but it's also late in the season for a lot of people in this area whose hunting season starts when November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
October
so-
if you bow hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still
So-
hot. Yeah.
Hot and ticks.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's get into the Kingfish and explain what we're doing because, like I said, we used to have it all over the place. What are we looking for if we're going out? If you're looking for, are you looking for water temperature? Are you looking for color? We're looking for baits. We're looking for, what were we looking for?
Well, back in the day, you just look for
Anything.
anything,
Structured?
anything.
Water.
There's a rig over there. You
Yeah,
go over that
yeah,
one. If
yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't here, you go. We would just go.
Right.
And now it's just gotten to the point where you've got we didn't have the things we had back then. We had a map, and a fish finder and a GPS, and they were everywhere.
Right.
Now it's we rely a lot on our technology that we've got, and a lot of fishing apps and stuff like that, and weather apps and stuff like that, and that's what we use.
Yeah. You brought up water temperature. Is that what you fish? Do you look for that?
Yeah, so I'll mainly look at four things. So I'm looking for water temperature, color, salinity, and current. I think that kings like the low 70s water temperature. As it gets hotter in the summer, they're going to go deeper to achieve
Right.
those temperatures. I'm a big fan. I think they like green water.
No, it doesn't have to be blue. They like green water better than blue.
Yeah, I think they're king green. They
Yeah,
don't want
yeah.
it to be dirty. But then they may hang it on the edge of where it's blue, or they may hang on the inside of where it's closer to dirty. It just depends. I think it's the salinity of the water. I think that's several factors we had talked about. It's just the fresh water. Last year we had a lot of fresh water.
Yeah, a ton of rain. But this
Yeah.
year we're
Yeah.
green
The
all the way
opposite, yeah.
dang near to the beach.
Yeah, and I think that plays a big factor. You got the Mississippi pouring in muddy water, a bunch of fresh water. It's gonna deter them because they are a pelagic fish. They're gonna migrate and they're gonna go where the bait is and the conditions are right. They're predatory hunters and they want to be in their environment.
Right.
I think that's a lot of it. And there's everybody has the options. You've got all these different technologies. You've got rip charts that you can look all this up. You've got several other different ones. You've got all these different like Spot On. You've got Seymour. You've got all these different things that you can take and create a plan before you ever leave the dock. Use the technology and it's going to point you. You can look at surface temperatures, daily satellite images. It's available.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So if I'm launching it, so if there's a championship in Biloxi and I'm launching out of Biloxi, how far, is there boundaries? How far can I run? Do I have to get back at a certain time? How does that work?
Yeah, so typically you have a weigh-in time. You've got to check in. They typically have some check-in station somewhere. You have to check in, have your boat at that check-in point by a certain time. Some of them you have to be at a dock at a certain time. It just depends a little bit. And most of them are going to be a boundary tournament to an extent.
Okay.
You're going to have, and some of them, like some of the tournaments that are sanctioned here in our area have, the boundaries are further than anybody really is willing to
Can run or
Yeah.
wants to.
You may be 200 miles east and
Yeah,
west.
there's a lot of gas. We ain't running that far.
I think that's one of the biggest things is your boat's ability, and the fish varies, man. You may be catching them in 40 feet of water. You look at some of the piers along the Panhandle and Gulf Shores, even around the islands. You catch them at triple rig, at FH13 sometimes,
Right.
you beat 30 to 60 feet. And then you've got some people that are catching them in 200 feet, and I think a lot of it's the water temp and the variations. Rob can, run off that. But I think that's a lot of it. The driving factors is, where are the fish, if they're 100 miles, you're running 100 miles. You're trying to catch the tournament winner.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing that a lot of these boats, like you said, are designed around. I need the biggest boat with the maximum capacity that runs
Give me
the
it
fastest
as fast as it'll go.
to get me there.
Well, I can tell you though that sometimes that's a good thing, but sometimes it's a crutch too, because you think you got a faster boat or a bigger boat, you want to go further. And a lot of times you'll go right past where you need
Pass
to
a
be.
bunch of fish.
Yeah.
So what they do with a lot of these tournaments is they have they used to do back in the day. They used to do shotgun starts,
Right.
where the fastest boats got there first, and it was a race.
Right.
Safety wise and stuff like that became a factor, and so they've leaned more towards now to, like he said earlier, lines in the water at a certain time. So it allows the smaller boats and all size boats to get to the places where they want to fish at the same time, and start fishing at the same time.
Okay, so you're leaving the night before.
So you can leave at any time.
Right.
For most of these tournaments, you just can't have your lines in the water before a certain time. And what they'll do is they'll have a lot of times they'll have a GPS check-in or something like that, where you have to have a digital check-in.
Yeah.
Of what port you're leaving from and stuff like that. But yeah, they'll have a lines in the water at a certain time. So
And you say like GPS check-in. How does that work as far as if you can be out there at any time? What does the check-in do? I'm confused.
if it's a boundary tournament, for
Okay,
instance, like
okay.
like if you can leave from Biloxi to Pensacola, you got to show that you're leaving out of Biloxi, out
Okay,
of pass.
that
Horn
makes sense.
Island or
Show
something
your
like that.
run.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Just so they know you're not in Texas or something
Right,
like that,
right, or North
fishing out
Carolina.
of Key
We'll
West.
ship it in.
Exactly.
We'll get off Amazon.
Well, yeah, we'll ship it in. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
What about how do you enforce? Is it honor system? How do you enforce no lines in the water until a certain time?
It's on the honor system,
Okay.
but they do randomly. They will do polygraphs for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
winners. and
same
stuff like
as
that.
what we do. I mean,
Yeah.
we haven't had to, thank God, but it's part of our tournament rules too. So yeah. And I'm assuming also too is there's no like documenting wise, you don't have to video anything.
Yeah,
It's
is there
not-
any video evidence you need for the fish?
So tournament dependent. I know some of the ones on the East Coast require you to do like they give you a placard. You have to video the fish with freshly caught with the placard, or you have to video you putting the first line in at 7:01 if it's or 7 o'clock with the GPS coordinates you're at.
Mhm.
That type of stuff. It's getting a lot more to it because that makes it a lot easier for everybody.
Yeah.
You don't have to question anybody's integrity
That's
or any
right.
of that.
Right.
It's just here's my evidence and
Shit, and now with technology nowadays, you could damn near have a camera on everybody's boat, in a live feed where you could just click on and look at your boat, and I could say, no, they don't have any poles in the water yet or something. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
we're close. We're there really, but everybody having that on the boat.
Well, y'all got these big fancy jerseys on. I'm guessing this is all your sponsors that go on. Explain that side of it.
Yeah, when we started fishing, we start picking up some sponsors and stuff like that especially when you're doing well.
Yeah.
But
it tends to work that way.
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But
Oh, let me count. Who's got the most?
Yeah.
and
right.
and what we do is basically when we get these sponsors, it's a hand in hand kind of thing. We represent their, we use their product. We and in turn they we wear their clothing or like my boat's wrapped,
Mhm.
or a lot of boats are wrapped with sponsor information and stuff like that. And it's a helping hand kind of thing. We do everything we can to promote them and their product and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's why we do with the jerseys and stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it must be working because people are still throwing money at Kingfish, right?
Yeah, 100%. And last year I didn't have a jersey. I started last season without any sponsors.
You had a white T-shirt.
I had a white T-shirt.
Just to let everybody know, it's a blank canvas, baby.
Yeah,
I'm
you get
wide
whatever you
open.
want.
Yeah.
Got room for you right here.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's a lot of work. Nobody's going to give you anything for free. And
Right.
I've really tried to strategically work with companies that I believe provide good product. I don't want anything or promote anything that I don't use or don't care for.
Right. Just put it on there for show.
That's right.
You can do that, but that's not. I'm here to fish ultimately, and these are tools I use to help me.
Right.
And that's kind of the take I've taken, and just try to make it. You're going to give me something, and I'm going to give you something in return.
Oh yeah. I'm sure they love it when y'all back up to a weigh-in or the final tournament or whatever, and flying their flag, wearing their shirt, wrap your boats with their product, and you win. I mean, that is a win-win for them and you. Yeah.
Definitely helps.
Yeah, for sure.
What? Because there's a significant age gap between the two of y'all. Is that the same in the tournament? Do you have the old bucks that are still in it and the young bucks that are coming up? Is there a medium in there? Do you see the young bucks coming up and the old bucks still hanging on?
let's talk about this age gap.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He was pretty brutal right there. Wasn't he? Yeah.
I'm still on that.
Yeah. He's working on his.
I mean, veterans. Like,
there
you've
you
been
go.
in it for a while.
Yeah.
You were seasoned.
I'm a senior
Experience would
angler.
You were
I am.
seasoned.
Experience would have been a better term. Yeah.
Sorry,
No, I'm just
I
kidding.
apologize.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's there's a lot of young, up and coming people doing this,
Yeah.
and these young and up and coming people are a lot of the ones that weren't aware of what the SK is, and that's what we're trying to draw a lot of interest in, because there's people out there that still love competition and tournament fish, and what's good about the SK is it's good for all ages, and it's a broad range. I mean, there's a lot of women anglers, there's a lot of family teams in the SK.
Okay.
They promote family
That's cool.
a lot.
Yeah.
They got a lot of awards for junior anglers and stuff like that too. So his son fishes
Yeah,
with
there's
him
a
a lot too.
big push for the junior anglers, and I mean that's putting it in the next generation. Y'all know that how important the junior anglers are.
Oh, yeah,
getting
100%.
them to love the sport. Not pushing them, but something other than baseball or stuff, fishing and teaching them. It's just something great to get them in. My son, I've got video of him just standing there reeling in a 20-pound king mackerel for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He loves it just as much as I do. And that's great being able to see his love for it as well.
Yeah. So he got in it because that was the heyday. What was your driving force to get into it? Because you kind of got into it on the lull, right? So how did you figure this whole thing out?
So I got in the boat with a buddy and I fished. We had a great time. We fished an entire year. We struggled, definitely, but I enjoyed it, and I definitely kind of got I guess the feeling that I want to do this on my own. I want to go out and target these king mackerel, and I want to catch them. And man, I went and I caught one king mackerel, and I was hooked.
Okay.
Those fish come by at 40 miles an hour and hit this live bait, and they're gonna pull off 200 yards of line, and that happens one time. A big 30, 40-pound king mackerel, and you're gonna be hooked.
Right.
I mean, it's not like reeling up a snapper off the bottom.
Yeah. The only thing that can compare is probably a wahoo or
Right.
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. It has that speed.
I think if you fish for one day and you catch one wahoo, that is a successful day. And
Right.
that's very similar to how catching a big king mackerel is. You can catch some of the smaller king mackerel a little bit easier. It's obviously still a lot more difficult today than it used to be.
Right.
But you can still catch those, 15-pound king mackerel pretty easy. Your average person can, and you don't have to have live bait, But the big ones, you need the live bait, and you typically more of a target to them. You're out slow trolling and all this. And
Yeah, just like where you talking about bucks or king mackerel, the big ones, they've figured it out. They're
Yeah,
a
they
little
know
bit
it.
smarter. Yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
that looks a little funky to me. I'm not going to eat that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You brought it up earlier. I don't want to give all your secrets away. You like to hit natural bottom reefs. Is it the same with you, or with the reason I'm asking that is because all the dang rigs are pretty much going around here. That used to be what attracted all of them.
Right.
And now, are y'all going to more natural bottom reefs instead of rigs?
So I'm going where my conditions tell me to go. The water temperature, I'm basically lining that up, and I'm trying to put that with some type of structure. King mackerel are a structure-related fish, whether it's natural bottom or it could be a rig, and you've got several places that still hold fish where rigs used to be, and there's still structure
Right.
on the bottom
They cut
or
'em
left
off,
over. You've got several famous areas around here that will get king mackerel. Period. It's where you've got the 340 area, you've got the horseshoe, the salt domes, all that. You've got the 108. You've got several of these famous areas, and then you've got several natural bottom. You start getting further east, you get into some of the flats and the Chrysler grounds and the edge, and even further as you get up closer towards the Florida Panhandle, it kind of pinches in around the edge, and you've got a lot more flats, and you've got a lot of natural bottom around there and stuff. And I try to basically align my conditions with where a spot is going to be.
Yeah.
And everybody is putting a flat line out, at all these places. And so it's a lot more difficult, and I think that's a lot of the overfishing and how hard it's become. You've got a lot more pressure and people just catching king mackerel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a lot of homework because you said you went to Key West last year, right? Or you went
We
to Key
went-
West? Who went to Key West?
So we went to Cape Canaveral last year.
Okay.
Cape Canaveral, and we both fished nationals. And actually, Rob won open class there. Took away the win, and brought it back to our division.
Have you fished that before?
Cape Canaveral?
Yeah.
No, I've never. I've fished out of Fort Pierce before, but I never fished that area before.
You went to a different area that you never fished and brought home the championship.
Yeah, damn right he did. That's right. Damn right he
Well,
did. Yeah.
What's your homework on that? Do you sit there and look at the plot? Do you look at the water maps and all that stuff?
We do all that stuff. Yeah, we we'll study, like he said. We Sirius XM weather has a big is a very popular and a very, very useful tool
right.
for us out there. It gives us not only the weather conditions, but it gives us the fish mapping app, altimetry, and we use those fishing recommendations and stuff like that. We use that. We use all the tools that we know, like looking at water temperatures and stuff like that, and gather all those tools, and then we just guess and go somewhere else.
Got me. That was good.
That was good.
No,
Yeah.
but seriously, we use all that, and then we go out there and we do our homework. As far as, like he said earlier, a lot of your work's done at the dock or in the office the day before you fish, and you go out there with a plan. You try different areas, and that's what we did. We fished for a couple of days ahead of time, looking for bait. I like to go where I'm looking for bait. I'm looking where bait's holding.
Birds, bait,
activity, water color, water changes and stuff like that, rips, stuff like that. Something that where bait will hold. It could be on natural bottom. It could be in the middle of nowhere. It could be on the beach, and so that's what we look for.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's done, like you said. A lot of it's homework. 90% of it's luck, but
Yeah, that's true.
So do y'all pre-fish these tournaments?
out of town, yeah. I mean, I do. We have, but at home, I don't do that because I've too many horror stories of people pre-fishing, and I've had a couple of guys on that fish with me that have gone out day before a national championship and caught a fish of a lifetime.
45 here.
And then you go back the next day and it's gone.
Yeah, that would really upset me.
Yeah.
Do y'all ever out of town? Do y'all ever beat the local bars down and try to find the fish heads and try to get the local guys into it?
Oh yeah, everybody does, and that's the same thing they do when they come here. When the out of towners come here, our phones start ringing off the hook.
Really?
As far as, hey buddy, have you heard anything? And
You ever tell them you catch them by the loop?
Right here?
Yeah.
The loop. Yeah, you troll by the loop for King.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, right there by the loop in Biloxi, you'll find a ton of them. So. What with the one you won? What was the weight on that fish? And then also too, we talked about like trolling, baits, water, everything like that, and how that fish 40-mile-an-hour bite. But like what how long does it take to land a tournament winning fish like that? And what's that fight like?
Well, like you said, the initial run is 200, 300 yards of line that they'll take out right away.
That's a rip.
And what we do in king mackerel fishing is we chase the fish. We fight the fish from the front of the boat. It's not a horse. You fish with very light tackle.
Okay.
So it's you're chasing the fish down, and
so you got to have a team.
So
Somebody's got to be driving. What are the teams?
Team.
How many is usually per team?
Usually, well, it depends on the boat. I mean,
So I'm running 3 to 4 guys typically, with myself included. You typically need to have somebody. You got to have somebody on the motor.
Right.
You typically have a rod man and a gaff man, and if you have an extra person, you get somebody that's getting up down riggers or extra lines or something like that.
Deckhand.
Correct. And typically a lot of these teams are like Rob. They're well-oiled machines. Everybody has their job. When that rod goes off and that fish hits, you know exactly what you're doing. And it's basically when that fish hits, that line takes off, everybody's running. Everybody's on their feet running.
Okay. Yeah. Did I hear you? Am I processing this right though? Like one guy is going to be the guy that reels it in kind of no matter what?
Yeah.
Okay. What
do y'all do? Because y'all are the captains. Y'all own the boats, right? What is your job?
I make the sandwiches.
You're 2 for 2, man. You're 2 for 2.
It's
Good
good.
job. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
No.
what do you like doing?
Yeah.
I generally drive. I generally drive
Okay.
the boat. We have there's 3 of us sometimes 4 of us that generally fish these tournaments together. And my wife, she's basically our angler.
Okay.
She
Really? Oh,
my
that's
gosh,
cool. That's cool.
That's probably why I do this the most, is because
She
she
loves
loves to
Watching
do it as
her
much
just
as I
like,
do.
yeah.
And she does all the angling, 90% of the angling, and she makes all the rigs, all of our rigs. She ties all of our rigs.
Wow.
And
And if she loses the fish, you ain't gonna get mad at her.
No,
I
you
can
can't say
promise
shit.
You,
You can't
You
say
ain't gonna
nothing.
get mad at
Yeah.
her a bunch.
Yeah.
And not
Like,
a
oh, it
lick.
happens, baby.
Yeah.
I don't want to sleep on the couch.
yeah, or she'll deny tying that one.
Yeah.
That's
Somebody
not
I
else
didn't do
Yeah,
that.
did.
That must have been when you did.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So what's the other two doing?
And they run the back of the boat. You know, I'll have one guy, he'll let all the lines out, and this way we're not walking over each other. You know,
Right,
he knows
right.
how far. You know, we set out 3 or 4 or 5 lines. He knows where they're at. You know, as far as how far out, what bait's on what, and then we all know that if a fish hits, that immediately, you know, first thing we got to do is get the lines in. You know, so we all have a roll. You know, and I'm on the boat, make sure I get the boat turned, you
Right.
know, and get the angler to the front of the boat as quickest as possible to chase the fish down.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the difference here? Like, you know, I'm thinking like excuse me, we watched JJ fight marlin and all that always from the back of the boat on the big sport fishes. Why front of the boat? Is because y'all's boats are smaller than the big sport fish? Like, what's the technique there?
Well, a lot of it's because, like I said, they make a long run, and you don't want to have any slack in the line.
Yeah,
Okay,
keep it
so you
tight,
need that
yeah.
forward
so
motion.
you need that forward motion. So you're chasing them down, while still having tension on the line. So it's not a
Reverse wouldn't
Yeah,
work
yeah,
in
Correct.
that situation.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Now, how does that work then? So that fish is ripping. You're saying 200 yards of line in one good burst. Is that correct?
You got to go get him.
What kind of throttle are you working with up there? And then also your wife, that being the angler. I mean, she's cranking down like this. That sounds like a thing.
And you don't have to throw her off the front of the boat.
Right.
That's probably the
Yeah,
hardest
yeah,
part.
yeah.
Right.
Talk to us about that.
Well, it's based on you know, a lot of the new reels and stuff like that have a
Gear
lot
ratios
have a
and shit like that?
really
Yeah.
high gear
Yeah.
ratio,
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
helps a lot. And a lot of yelling, you know, you know, real, you know, and a lot of communication back and forth. As far as like he said, you'll have somebody that'll be on the gaff, up there with the angler, usually helping, you know, telling us to slow down, what direction it's in,
Right.
you know, whether to speed up and stuff like that. But it's all.
It's a team effort.
And it's
Yeah,
adrenaline. It's
yeah,
adrenaline because it
yeah.
all happens so fast. You know, sometimes
Yeah.
a fight could be 5 minutes. Sometimes a fight could be 25 minutes.
Ooh.
Okay. That would be considered a long fight to get one of these to the boat, 25 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, depends on the size of the fish.
And then you're holding your breath every time it comes out of the water.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and nowadays too, we have a lot of problems with sharks.
Oh,
So
Yeah,
a lot
That's
of times.
what needs to be overfishing.
Well,
We're not doing it. I don't understand why.
Here's the thing. Put a bounty on them, right?
Oh.
As long as it's a legal shark, let's have a shark tournament, right? I mean, damn, that you'll get them that way.
Yeah.
I wish.
We got
He
to
was, yeah.
You can kill
Yeah.
80% of them and
They
still have
come
too
back.
many.
Yeah, like cockroaches or something. I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah. What- Go ahead.
I was gonna say we hadn't said it yet. I wanted to ask like 10 questions ago, but I forgot. What boat are you guys running? We haven't even said that.
So I've got a Blue Water 2150. It's basically water length. It's 23 foot with a single 250 Suzuki.
Okay.
You know, one of the things I do want to mention about fighting from the front of the boat, we talk about this, all these boats are primarily designed with an open bow, you know, so it's a flat deck across the front.
Okay.
So you
Like-
can get up there and you can stand and you can fight the fish.
Yeah, you got way to
You know,
move
you don't
around.
have
Yeah.
seats
Like the
up
contenders and
there.
stuff you're talking about? Yeah,
Yeah.
without the coffin box.
Yeah,
You know?
correct.
Yeah.
You know, and then Rob's got, I'll let you.
He got the big boat, though, right?
I got a 33-foot Onslow Bay, and
Okay.
it's with mercury-powered motors, outboards.
No.
He's
That'll
doing
work.
it. He's
Yeah.
doing it. Yeah.
Tell us about your operation on your boat. Are you captain? Are you what are you?
So typically, you know, I don't know how Rob typically if he can run one motor while he slow trolls, but I'm having to bump troll, so I'm constantly in and out of gear. So
Right,
it's
right.
neutral forward every so often, depending on the current and which way you're going with it. I'll do that from time to time. We normally take turns driving the boat because that's just monotonous.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it gets boring.
So you do it for 2 hours, and it's time for somebody else to
Yeah.
take it.
Now, is that because if you just put it in its lowest setting forward?
You're too fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're too
okay.
fast.
Okay.
You know, you can put 5-gallon buckets, you can tie them, but then you got extra things in the water. getting
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. Pain in the ass.
So
yeah.
it's a constant forward, neutral, forward, neutral.
That would get tiring. If you've never done something like that, I've never done it for that long, but that would be like.
So it's it's a grind on that. So we'll take turns. I like to be the gaff guy. That way, that's a lot of times where
That's
if
the
you have
money
an
shot.
accident, that's where it is. I want to be the one that's
taking the heat for it. Glory versus the heat, I guess.
Yep. So typically I've got one of my guys that'll man the rod. And then I've got somebody typically driving. Sometimes I'm driving. We'll swap up, mid-fight. But somebody's getting the rods up. We'll typically leave one line out, because a lot of times king mackerel are typically a schooling fish.
Yeah.
So we've had several times we've had a fish on, we have one line out, and that second line gets hit too.
Hell yeah, yeah.
That's one thing. You've got some people leave all their lines out. It just
that's
varies.
a lot of logistics.
That
There's a whole bunch of stuff getting
get
cut
squirrely
up.
real quick. Yeah. We had a comment come through from Liquid Fire Fishing Team that said Rob sets the standard. He said he and Kelly are an amazing team. Rob and Cody, great guests. So appreciate the comment, man. We really do. Thanks for sending that in. So that's killer.
Talk about your spread. What are we doing? You mentioned the spread earlier. Are we pulling all live baits? Are we pulling any kind of teasers, any kind of shiny stuff? Because mackerel, you usually tend to go to the little spinner, the shiny spinning stuff. Are you pulling any of that stuff?
I don't personally. We'll have skirts and stuff on the baits and stuff like that. But sometimes people will pull where it stretches and stuff like that.
Right.
Just, to generate a bite,
Mm-hmm.
just to see if there's fish there. Some people mix it up. We do troll some dead bait. They troll ribbon fish.
Yeah.
But a variety, usually.
Yeah.
But
Same with yours.
Yeah, very much same. I try to alternate between. I'll have like one big bait out, one smaller bait. You alternate different lines. So you typically do 3 lines up top, some 2. It depends on how courageous I am that day on a smaller boat. Sometimes I'll run a long line, I'll run a mid line, and then a short line that's just behind like the prop wash. It's maybe 30 yards, 20 yards behind the boat. And then I'll typically run 1 or 2 downrigger lines, just depending on how late in the day it is and how hungry I am for a fish. The more lines you get out, especially on a 23-foot boat, the more the logistics it gets very difficult.
Yeah.
You want to run as few as possible as you can to catch the fish you want to catch.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're desperate. It's the last hour. You
Throw them out.
Everything you got.
We don't care if they tangle. I mean, it's like just get something out there.
And you'll ask anybody. Having 1 or 2 really pretty baits is way more important than having 10 baits in the water.
Right.
It's presentation. These fish, you're trying to fool these fish. These fish did not get that big by being stupid. And they see a lot of stuff, and you're really, really trying to fool them. So that's the biggest thing is having the right presentation.
Yeah. You mentioned big baits. You mentioned hardtails earlier. What's the big baits? What are we trolling bigger than hardtails?
So bluefish, 2 to 3 pound bluefish, 2 to 3, 4 pound hardtails. I mean, big hardtails that you're catching, that are chunks. Some people are even trolling Spanish. The hard thing with Spanish is you can't keep them alive. Ladyfish. A lot of people troll ladyfish.
Really?
But if you don't catch it and instantly put it in the water, some of those are really fragile baits.
Yeah. As soon as you get in the boat, they're dead.
So that's why a lot of people go with hardtails, bluefish, pogies, LYs, that type of stuff.
Well, y'all are running the same setup pretty much. Y'all have tuna tubes on your boat, right? You said, do you have tuna tubes on yours? So everything's alive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is Donna?
my sister.
Yeah. she said sandwich maker. Exclamation point. She said, good job, bro. That's what I figured. So,
yeah, let's talk about that. What is the best thing to do during the lull? Like the boring time. How do y'all pass the time? Do y'all play hopscotch? Do y'all play
checkers?
cards? Yeah.
Write poetry? What do you do?
Right.
We gain a lot of weight.
There you go.
Yeah,
Well,
eat constantly.
Hey, that's my favorite part of any. Like,
Yeah,
we went to Chandelier, man. That was like, what we gonna eat?
just
What we
eat,
cooking?
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
even hungry. It's just part of the trip, right?
We eat. No, it's what's good about it with us is, like I said, it's we've all been fishing together for so long. We're like a family, so it's never boring. I mean, we're always, when it is low like that, we're talking and joking and laughing, and it's always a good time. Even the worst fishing day is a good time.
That's what life's about to me.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the part of it. People don't get it. Like, why do I like doing this, hunting, fishing, whatever your jam is. It's like, it's just about spending time with the people that you're with.
Right.
Some stuff that's not work related and stressed out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Are these So if I launch on a Friday or we blast off on a Saturday, are we spending the night? We coming back in and then going back the next morning? How does that work?
Are you asking the old guy or are you asking?
Well, I'm gonna ask both of y'all. I'm gonna ask the old guy first.
I don't go. We don't stay offshore.
Okay.
I mean, you have the option to do that, and
Them
some of
days
these,
is over,
and some
baby.
of these
That
young
bed's
guys.
a whole lot.
Yeah, I need a bed and
Okay.
a hot shower every
I'm
night.
with you.
Yeah. So you're running in, refueling,
Yeah.
fooding, everything else. What do you usually do?
So, I mean, it depends. It's all weather dependent. You know, if it's 2-foot seas, I'm probably running in too.
Yeah. You
It's
tired of
gonna
getting your brains beat in?
Yeah, you know, if it's nice and calm, we're gonna sleep on the beanbags. You know, you gonna slug it out there.
And that's a nice way to sleep if it's calm,
Yeah, but
ish. I mean,
Still, once you get older,
Yeah,
you wake
yeah.
up the next
Oh, yeah,
morning going,
yeah, yeah.
"Oh God, why did I do all that?"
You know.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and it varies. You know, and one thing, you know, passing the time for us, we're trying to figure out what genre of music the Kingfish want. You know, I'm a big advocate that they want to hear something jamming. You know, and so.
That I'll tell you what. That's funny you say that because it is funny how the different styles of fishing. You know, some you try to be quiet, you're not moving. It kind of can be very boring.
Well, all that is BS because when you went fishing with your dad when you was younger, and he said, "Don't put any music in and don't talk,"
Yeah.
he just didn't want to hear you talk.
Well, he still tells me that to this day. So you know,
Right.
but you're probably right there.
I mean,
but
usually when we're snapper fishing, we put on like
Oh, yeah.
straight gangster rap as
Right.
loud as it goes. The fish turn on.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So it ain't-
Everybody loves Tupac. I mean, I don't know
That's
what you're thinking, but no, that is funny, and you say that, and it reminds me of we went. I don't know, Joey. I'm terrible at time. How long ago we go bow fishing? 6
last
months ago.
year,
Yeah, it was into last
somewhere.
year. Anyway, that was just a new, totally different experience for me, having never done that before, being at night in the marsh. You know, spotlights and loud ass music and loud ass sounded like a V8, old school muscle car worth of engine going.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is different and it's fun, and we had a good time.
That's
so
cool.
yeah, it was great. It was really great. What you got? What else you got? I had one more and it just slipped my mind.
Go ahead.
No, you go first. 'Cause mine's like a final roundup question.
Oh, that's mine too.
What is it? Go. Let's see if it's the same one.
You think we can do it again?
We've done it a couple times. Go ahead.
Mine is what is the next step for SKA?
I'll be a son of a bitch.
Is it
Yep,
the same
that was the
one?
same one. Go ahead. Go ahead. That's
so
good though. That's
what's
good.
the next step for SKA? So we went from the heyday, we went to a lull,
What's the
and now
goals?
we're kind of rebuilding that bridge. What is SKA as an association doing to get it back to that heyday?
They're trying to promote. What they're trying to do is they're trying to build through the anglers, pretty much. As far as we're trying to get the word out, trying to do some more tournaments. They're trying to do some regional tournaments.
Right.
As far as attracting everybody from the different areas. You know, the golf. A lot of the tournaments, what they do is they sanction the tournaments, the local tournaments.
Right.
So your rodeos, all your Alabama rodeo and your Pensacola rodeo and your Floribama rodeos and stuff like that.
So that's all part of.
They're all SKA sanctioned
Okay,
tournaments.
okay.
So this allowed, and we're trying to draw more members into, because they all have king mackerel divisions.
Right. So if you fish that, say you fish the Orange Beach or any of that stuff, and you weigh a fish, that counts as your SKA
Correct.
into the weight. Okay.
Correct.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and we did mention it briefly earlier, but these tournaments are like multi-tournaments over time, and they're point-based systems, which would be outside, I'm assuming, of the championship tournament that you won, right? It's like so many points for number of fish versus weight of fish. Like, help me out there.
It's your weight. It's your total weight.
Okay, so
So
you have to bring them in and weigh them in.
Correct.
And then that gets you points that goes to the next tournament, to the next tournament, to the next tournament.
Yep. So it's typically you're going to have sanction. I think right now there's currently 5 sanctioned tournaments for Division 7. We've got the 3 that were mentioned, and then the 2 on somewhere on Texas. But basically, and at the end of the season, your collective for your division is your top 3 fish. So you basically get a point per pound. So it's all those combined.
Okay.
So that's how you get the invitation to nationals.
Okay.
Is whoever has the top, points for each division, and they'll go down so far into it. So it's typically, I think, first, second, third for each division they'll invite, and then if you were like a champion the year prior or anything like that, you'll get invited as well.
Dang, that's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. And then that national champion weekend, wherever that is, 2-day, 3-day, winner take all? How's that work?
It's a 2-day tournament.
Okay.
But it's a week. It's pretty much a week-long event. You know,
Right.
As far
Yeah,
as,
yeah.
you know,
Fishing is 2 days though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like this year, it's going to be in North Carolina.
Okay.
In November.
Yep.
And then, you know, each year now they're trying to do a different location.
Yeah.
When they tried to do it here in 24, unfortunately the weather was
Terrible.
Yeah. They tried to do it later in the year. It was the first week in December, I think when it was.
Yeah, it was like
And-
Probably a cold
5-footers.
front coming down.
And
yeah.
it was great weather
Before.
till the weekend before.
Correct.
Yeah.
I didn't
That's how
fish
it
that,
goes.
so don't blame that on
Yeah,
me.
that's
That
how
sounds
it
like some
goes.
shit I would do.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But Price and Jay, they're doing tremendous job trying to get the word back out here, and he's trying to build it up, and we got the anglers out there. I mean, the people fish fish these tournaments all the time. They just need to get more involved. We're trying to get more involved with the SKA
Yeah.
and try to
yeah.
get it built back up.
What's these weigh-ins like? Are they a party? Do we have like confetti coming out and lights and stuff? Like what's it like? Is it a lot of boats weighing in? You know, I asked that because we do our thing, and I was looking up like Bassmasters. You know, they pull the boat up and they play the music and stuff. We've been to Billfish School.
Yeah.
We got the grandstands and stuff like that. Announcing families are out there. Are these similar to that?
Well, here, it's all part of the like I said, since they're sanctioning these tournaments, it's the tournaments weigh-ins that they're going to.
Okay, so it's not actually the SKA.
It's not
Okay,
the national championship is. You know,
Okay.
they got a stage set up, and you
It's a to-do.
It's a to-do.
There you go.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Where are y'all most active? Like if I wanted to get be a part of SKA.
I dropped the Facebook
You got
page
it in there?
in
Is
the,
that
co-
where
in the
y'all
comments
usually do it?
already. Yeah.
So Facebook or get in touch with one of y'all, or how does that work?
Yeah.
They can feel free to message me. I'll point them in the right direction. But you can go to the website. You can sign up, register. You can. That's where I would start. You get your membership card, then you can go fish the tournaments that are sanctioned. You know, that's the biggest thing. One big thing they've got coming this year is divisional pots to try to bring it back to the division level. For the anglers. That way, if you can't travel, or you have some type of reason, and you're fishing your division, but you may not travel to nationals or something, you've got something extra targeting to win, something that you can still win without going to fish nationals.
Right. If I'm just a single person, don't have a boat, don't have a team, is there an option for that, or do I have to have a team and a boat?
So my biggest thing, so they have a Facebook group that you can go in there and you can probably post some stuff, and then you can also look, local. You've got several Facebook groups for the local, for the Mississippi coast, Alabama coast. Hop in there and ask. There's I think last year for the Alabama rodeo there was like 77 boats that were in the king mackerel jackpot. I'm sure there's other people that would be willing to get into it.
Throw
and
them
stuff
some
as well.
gas and say, hey, man, let me jump on there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's killer. I dropped the link to the website for people that are watching right now, and I'll have all this linked on the post production side of stuff. But it's a long link. But click that, and that takes you to the website. It looks like a lot of stuff there. I just was glancing over it. But
Yeah, fishska.com is the main site that has all the information about the SKA.
Yep, that's exactly.
What
that's
is?
exactly
Did we
what
talk
it
about the
was.
membership, the associate? How much is that to get into?
So I think it's normal members. I think $100 a year per person. Typically if you're fishing 3 to 4 people, that's 3 people. I think junior angler. I'm assuming it's under 16. It's free. I don't remember if it's.
Don't quote us on
Yeah,
that.
they can look it up. But
Yeah.
yeah, she's off top of the
It's
head.
all
and
in
then
pencil.
Yeah.
They have some reduced rates. Is it senior that they have a reduced rate for?
I don't.
Why
Why
did
you
you
asking
ask
me that
that?
again?
They're hammering you today, man. I don't understand that. I don't understand it.
But yeah, we'll post all that and stuff.
So
but
it's
yeah.
tiered, is what we're getting at.
Correct.
So you can go check that out as well. I think it's killer, man. I love to see it. I hope bring it back. These types of events, like you're talking SKA, but I remember the what was it, the Gulfport Deep Sea Fishing Rodeo. I remember how cool that was. Mississippi Deep. I think it was in Gulfport, but yeah, how cool that was as a kid to go out there and see all these fish. It was like alien creatures from another planet when you're that age, seeing all that kind of stuff. And it's just super cool, family friendly stuff that bring that next generation into the outdoors, right?
Exactly.
And it get it back down here because, like, literally, the SKA was one of the biggest tournaments down here, and it's Just to bring it back would be cool.
Yeah. Where is the the national championship thing is where it hops around each year. Where is it for 26? Or
It's
where
in,
was
it's,
it?
it's in North Carolina.
Carolina.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
In
Do we
November.
know when Biloxi will be on the radar? Or do they not have it out that far yet?
They don't have it out
Okay.
that far yet.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, let us know if it comes back to Biloxi. We'd love to have y'all back on for that, and even go down there and live stream and stuff.
Especially
we
if
can make
y'all
it
win.
happen.
If y'all don't win, we don't want y'all back in.
That's terrible. That's terrible. No, but seriously, gentlemen, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming out here and promoting
Thank you
this.
for having us.
Yeah, it really means a lot to us, and hopefully the audience enjoyed that, got some awareness. Go check them out on Facebook. Pages are linked. Go check them out on their website. Go fish one of these sanctioned tournaments, right?
Yeah, get
Check
back
it
into kingfishing.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. So, man, we appreciate it, like I say. And if y'all keep tuning in, man, we'll keep doing them. And unless you got anything else, Joey.
I got it.
Well, I tell you what, I do want to thank everybody for showing up to our tournament. The Brownwater Bash went off without a hitch, man. It was great. Great turnout. Weather was good. And somebody took her. Well, it's too late now. I think I'll call you one. Took home $1,000 for a hard head. Man, we got it was good. A lot of kids came out, a lot of families and stuff, so we had a good time.
Yeah. That's what it's all about.
That is
Family.
exactly what it's all about, man. So Sheep's Head will be later this year, October-ish. We're still trying to work out the details on that. But we love doing those things, man.
Yep.
It's a lot of work. We love doing them. So
When's the shark one? When's the shark one?
well, hey, we might
That's
be
not a bad
we might
idea.
be on to something
we might
here.
need to put our heads together
Yeah,
on
we'll see.
this.
So, hey, if y'all keep tuning in, we'll keep doing them. We'll see you on the next one.
Later.
Thanks so much for checking out the show. We really appreciate the support. If you haven't downloaded the Brownwater Banter app yet, go do it. It's free in the App Store and on Google Play. We have everything covered for a day out on the water. We've got the tides, the radar, Tails and Scales app. We've got a radio station right inside of it, and it's all free. All of our content is in there. You can listen to the show directly inside of the app. Make sure you keep your notifications turned on so you can stay in touch with us as we go live with guests in the future and plan events. If y'all keep tuning in, we'll keep doing them. We'll see you on the next one.